there guys, welcome back to another episode of NSK TV. I'm Craig.
I'm Ryland. I am Thea.
You had to think about that for a minute, didn't you? And this is Anya, yawning because she's almost asleep because she's about to get read a bedtime story. You see, today it is story time with Craig, Ryland, Anya and Thea, and we are going to read a Mr. Men book, my favourite Mr. Men book. We're going to read Mr. Strong. Have you read this one before, Thea? No? Ryland has, haven't you, Ryland?
Yeah,
I'm going to read
there's
it.
something funny at the end.
Okay, well, let's go for it.
I'm not telling you
This
what it
is a story of Mr. Strong. Now, Mr. Strong is the world's strongest person. In the whole wide world, he is the strongest. The strongest person there ever has been, and probably the strongest person there ever will be. He's so strong he can bend an iron bar with his bare hands. He can bend knots in an iron bar. There he is, bending a knot in an iron bar. Mr. Strong is so strong that he can throw a cannonball as far as you and I could throw a tennis ball. There he is, throwing a cannonball up in the air.
Does that mean he can throw a tennis ball even far?
Yeah. Mr. Strong is so strong he can hammer nails into a wall just by tapping them with his finger. There he is, look, tapping a nail into the wall with his finger. Strong by name, strong by nature. Anyway, would you like to know the secret of Mr. Strong's strength? Eggs. The more eggs Mr. Strong eats, the stronger he becomes. Stronger and stronger and stronger. I would not like to eat that many eggs. Would you like to eat that many eggs?
No. Are they even boiled?
No, I don't think so. I think they're fried. Anyway, this is a story about a funny thing that happened to Mr. Strong one day. That morning, he was having breakfast. And for his breakfast, he was having eggs.
Obviously.
Followed by eggs. And to finish, he was having, guess what?
Eggs.
Correct. Mr. Strong's normal breakfast. There he is. He's got his boiled eggs lined up. He likes eggs.
Yeah.
Anyway, after his eggy breakfast, Mr. Strong cleaned his teeth. And as usual, he squeezed all the toothpaste out of the tube. And as usual, he cleaned his teeth so hard he broke his toothbrush. Mr. Strong gets through a lot of toothpaste and he gets through a lot of toothbrushes because he is so strong.
Does he always do that?
Yeah, always. And after that, he decided to take a walk. He put on his hat, opened the front door of his house, and crash! What a beautiful day, he thought to himself. Stepping out of his house, he shut his front door. Bang! The door fell off his hinges. Mr. Strong gets through a lot of front doors. He's so strong that when he shuts the door, it falls off. He's a very strong man. Then Mr. Strong went for his walk. He walked through the woods, but he wasn't looking where he was going, and he walked slap bang into a huge tree. Crack! Now, if you and I walked into a tree, we'd bump our head and we'd go, ow, but not Mr. Strong. Oh, no. The huge tree trunk snapped and the tree thudded to the ground. Oops, said Mr. Strong. Go on, then.
Don't be naughty.
Thanks for that. Anyway, let's continue. He walked into town. And again, not looking where he was going, he walked slap bang into a bus. Now, if you and I walked into a bus, we'd probably end up in hospital. But as you know, not Mr. Strong. The bus stopped as if it had run into a brick wall. Oops, said Mr. Strong. Look, he's totally mashed up the front of the bus.
Can I tell him something?
No. Listen to the story. I know what you're like. Eventually, Mr. Strong walked through the town and out into the country to a farm. The farmer met him at the road looking very worried. There's a very worried looking farmer. No, I've told you.
Fire!
Oh, thank you. Okay, fire. Yes. What's the matter? Asked Mr. Strong. It's my cornfield, replied the farmer. It's on fire and I can't put it out. Uh-oh. Say uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Mr. Strong looked over the hedge and sure enough, the cornfield was blazing fiercely. Water, said Mr. Strong. We must get water to put out the fire. But I don't have enough water to put out the whole fire, cried the worried farmer. And the nearest water is down the river and I don't have a pump. That's my farmer voice. Do you like my farmer voice? Like it?
Yeah.
I don't have a pump. Then we'll have to find something to carry the water, replied Mr. Strong. Is that your barn? Oh, sorry. Is that your barn? Oh, no, sorry, that is... Okay. Sorry, that is Mr. Strong. Is that your barn? He asked the farmer, pointing to a barn in another field. Look, there he is, pointing to another barn. Yes, I was going to put my corn in it, said the farmer. But... Can I use it, said Mr. Strong. Well, yes, but... said the farmer, confused. Mr. Strong walked over to the barn, and then do you know what he did? He picked it up! He actually picked up the barn. There he is, picking up the barn. Now that is one strong dude. The farmer couldn't believe his eyes. Then Mr. Strong turned the barn upside down above his head down to the river. He then lowered it in the river and filled it up with water.
Don't do that.
Yes, if you're strong enough to pick up a barn and use it to pick water from the river, don't. Then, and this shows how strong Mr. Strong is, he picked it up and carried it back to the blazing cornfield. There he is. He is so strong, it's ridiculous. Mr. Strong emptied the upside-down barn full of water over the flames. Sizzle, sizzle, splutter, splutter. 1 minute the flames are leaping in the air, and the next minute they've gone. Give a yay to Mr. Strong.
Yay! Don't even do that too.
However, can I thank you? The farmer asked Mr. Strong. Oh, it was nothing, said Mr. Strong. But I must find somewhere to reward you, said the farmer. Well, Mr. Strong said, you're a farmer, so you must keep chickens. Oh, yes, I've got lots of chickens, said the farmer. And chickens lay eggs, said Mr. Strong. And I rather like eggs. Then you shall have as many eggs as you can carry, said the farmer, and took Mr. Strong over to the farmyard. Mr. Strong said goodbye to the farmer and thanked him for the eggs, and the farmer thanked him for helping. Thanks for helping, Mr. Strong. Then Mr. Strong, using one finger, picked up the giant basket of eggs, went home. I imagine... Oh, no, there's more. Mr. Strong put the eggs carefully down on his kitchen table and went to close the kitchen door. Crash! The door fell off the hinges. Whoops, said Mr. Strong and sat down. Crunch! The chair fell to bits. Oops, said Mr. Strong and started cooking his lunch. And for lunch, he started with eggs, followed by an egg or two. Then eggs. And for his pudding, he was having... Well, can you guess? If you can, there's no need to turn the page over and find out what he was having. What do you think he had for his pudding?
Eggs. Nope. It's ice cream.
He had ice cream! And that is the story of Mr. Strong. Will you put those pillows down? Thank you. That is the story of Mr. Strong. Did you like that story, Thea?
Yeah.
You like that story, Ryland?
That's so the flying bomb.
Yeah.
So, something...
Okay, don't be naughty. Anything else you want to say?
She was going to say it.
You were going to say don't be naughty.
No, I need to think what I was saying.
We haven't got time for you to think.
I know. Yeah, come on. This don't even do.
Oh, Thea, you're the bossiest person I know. Right, guys, that was another story time with NSK TV. Thanks very much for tuning in. We're here 5 times a day. We have story time every night with a different entertainer. So make sure you tune in tomorrow. We're live on Facebook at 1 o'clock, but you can catch all of our videos on Facebook and YouTube. So make sure you follow us on Facebook and subscribe to us on YouTube, and we'll be back tomorrow with some more videos. Thanks very much for watching. We'll see you again soon. I'm Craig.
I'm Ryland. I'm Thea.
And Andy has disappeared. Bye, everybody. Bye.